Markets are still pushing higher, but I'm still looking at it as a move, as a corrective rally to the upside. So with the S&P here, this move that we've had along the bottom here, as we all know, it's a little bit complicated, and as I mentioned, we can look at it in different ways. So the next step here to lift it 1 degree higher is to look at this as wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then going up for wave 5 here at the 61.8%. We'll take a look at this trend here, pull that apart in the indices video, but we can expect markets to continue higher. One of the interesting things that I noticed in this particular trend to the upside is the volume in the market. So we're seeing, this is Goldilocks here, so basically we're seeing the market move up here, but we're seeing the volume diminish. We normally look at Apple first, so we don't need these here, that was something else. So we're seeing the same thing here as well, pretty much across the board. We're seeing movements up, and then we've got that lower volume in that. Not so basically the trend is not being confirmed by the volume. In the next trading session with the US, we've got CPI figures coming in as well, so the market's been waiting for that, as you probably know. Not sure what BHP is doing here. We don't normally look at that, but while we're here, I think this is a pretty good example actually of the market in general. This particular trend that we're seeing to the upside in a lot of stocks is we're just looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to finish off here, and then we'll have the ABC pattern. So I'm quite bullish in most markets, but we need that pullback. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're looking for in the S&P here. We're looking for 5 waves down and then a move up from that point. If at any stage the 4,000 becomes a classic trading levels pattern as support, then a pattern like this here, we're approaching it here, we'll probably have a reaction here anyway. We'll either continue to further down, but if the market's going to turn bullish, then we'll expect a first move above the high, and we won't chase that. We could trade it, but we really want the market over here. That's what we'll be looking for across this level here. A little bit like this here as an example. Don't necessarily chase this up unless you're sort of intraday trading. Once the top comes in, that becomes our trigger to go long again, just in case it keeps going up, because sometimes they do, but generally they'll come back and retest, and we wait for the second high, and then we'll make a move from there. So over here we would need the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then some sort of ABC correction here, and then we can start to move in over here, but we can take those tops out. But yeah, we can move in over here. So it's a little bit of a process because we're looking for the trend, that's the main point with all of this. So yeah, anyway, that's BHP. We normally look at this as US BHP, but we normally look at this in line with the Australian BHP in the Australian markets, of course. So Apple here has got this move down here and move up here is very much like the S&P here, isn't it? It's very much the same sort of thing here, and we just had a look at Apple's volume moving to the upside. So it's moving up on lower volume. It still needs to go higher. It hasn't made a high above here like it has on the S&P, but we can expect that to play out here. So once again, we can count this a little bit differently, but still leaves us with this particular trend here. If we top out here and this becomes like a bullish correction here, because we need to have a look at the bullish side of things, then we'll look to go long at that particular point there. But we're not there yet. I can't chase it into that particular space. I need to confirm that it's bullish. So we're looking for 1 and 2 here. We do have bullish count, so we could look at those. Let's just do that for a moment. Where are we? 20k. Didn't have it on that one. I had it somewhere. Maybe it was on 10. No, it's not on 10. Maybe it's on the daily chart. Maybe I don't have it at all. Okay, I knew I had it. Here it is here. So I've just got it in the wrong space. So yeah, I mean, it's possible to have this here as the A wave, and the B wave here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, and have that low in place here. But I can't, I can't call I can't call it in as a bullish move just yet. I mean, this here could be interpreted in different ways, and it really makes a big difference. You could put this is definitely corrective here, so you could put wave B here, for example. You could put wave 1 here and get away with an ABC here. You could also put another one over here. It's not that crash hot, this one. This one's fine. That's definitely 5 waves, so that's why I've gone with that. But it does open things up a little bit. You probably could have this over here and have that there, but still same. So this is a bit of a problematic area here, and if I'm going to turn bullish on something, then I need to see a nice clean 5 waves up here, and then we need the setup over here as well for these sorts of things. That's just the way it is. I'm not that interested in getting the actual sort of turn on things. I'm more interested, more weight on validating the actual structure so we can move in on that. We're in a downtrend and we need to trade with the trend. So we can see the stochastics coming up here. We know it's on lower volume moving up here. This whole trend moving up here is on lower volume. So we just got to be a little bit careful with everything at this point. So as I mentioned, the CPI figures will come in tonight, so they are in the next US session. So we'll see what the situation is there. Nvidia, it's a bit like BHP actually in a way. We've got this as wave 1 here, and we're looking for an A wave and a B wave and a C wave here. Is it possible to put wave 2 here and count 5 waves up here? Yeah, we could do that, but I don't have my 5 waves up here yet. Do you know what I mean? Going up here, so I still need to look for this B wave here. This 3 waves here. I think I might have a bullish count here for this. So let me just check. Nope. Not on there. On the 20, on the 10 maybe. Nope. And probably nothing on the 5. Doesn't really matter yet. Yeah, but it could be doable to put this here. I'd have to bring this down to here. I'd have to have this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. I'd have to have that as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave here. I mean, it's doable. It's a little bit sort of shoddy, but I'd need 5 waves here anyway. I mean, we're going to be pushing up here anyway. So let's just go to our count, maybe on 1,000 ticks. I think we got this. Yeah, so we're still looking for this to move up and then move down a little bit as well. If this breaks lower here, I think we talked about that yesterday, breaking lower. If it does break lower, then we need to be on the short side. But I can still see there needs to be a move up in other markets. But it's possible to count that as 5 waves down here, and then an ABC over here, and then 5 waves down here. If it takes that top out there, then it's going to move up higher at that point. It could, because it will invalidate this being 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 at that point. So yeah, we did talk about it yesterday. So yeah, so if it does break lower, then then that's fine, but we should expect another session to the upside here. So it'll be interesting to see how Friday closes. That's going to be a bit of a turning point, I think, because wherever Friday closes, then the next week will start in that direction, basically. So if Friday is bearish, then Monday will be bearish and Tuesday will be bearish, and vice versa. So anyway, Nvidia can still push to the upside. And I've had to rearrange Amazon as well. So with Amazon here, I'm looking for the 61.8% here. I'm just going to give it some time to play out here. As I've got wave 3 and 4 here, it's possible to put this wave 5 over here and count this down as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2. and then 5 waves down for the third wave, fourth, fifth, for third, fourth, and fifth. It sort of jams it in there and, you know, turns it at that point. So it's possible to have wave 5 at that point, but I would need to see a nice sort of impulse wave to the upside. So I really want to wait for this to move out. And, you know, the thing is that, you know, if these markets are going to be bullish, they'll still need to top and they'll still need to pull back. And when they do pull back, that's when we can look at, you know, being on the long side with these markets. But we're not there yet with these. So I'll just keep being a little bit more patient. Okay, so Meta Platforms here. What have I done with this chart? Okay, so yeah, okay, so I can see I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here for wave 1 and back for wave 2 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the third wave. If that is the case, we've been looking for a fourth wave here. That would leave us at the 38 at 140, and being at 140 there would be looking at this as the A wave here, the B wave here, then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So another move to the upside, which will be in line with the S&P and the rest of the markets. So we just have to wait out for that. I thought we may have a turning point a little bit further down. Now, yesterday we looked at this in two. Excuse me. Let's go to the 100. We looked at it in having a top here or a top up here further. So I think I remember sort of saying that that what I wasn't really happy about this trend here is I couldn't really see a wave 4. So even though I could count everything up, so I had to respect the count as much as, you know, as I can, but we just don't have that wave 4 business coming in here yet. So it'll be something like this and pushing that up to the 140 area there. So we're not ready to, we had that there as a ready to sort of short at that particular point. I'll have to lift this up 1 degree of structure, so we still need to move up, higher here with all of this. So not ready for that either. Netflix, as I mentioned yesterday, if Netflix takes out this high here, then we're going to have to obviously readjust the count. And in this count here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we looked at this here as an where were we? C wave. Oh well, yeah, down for wave. Well, really. Where do I have that? So looking at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 up here, but that's not the case. I can see that this is, well, it's already moved up. I could earlier on this evening, this morning, I could see that this is corrective here. So we're going to have to rearrange this particular count, but the same thing applies here as well, is that we can't chase this up. You know, you can trade it up, but we can't take it on as a long-term trend going to, I mean, you know, short-term. It's only a short-term trend. It's only going to go up, you know, up into 350 or something of that nature. So this will all need to go over here. That will need to go over here. And then we'll have this coming back here as the ABC. We'll have a look at the bigger picture in a moment. These will need to be changed into a higher degree here and so on. So I'll do that in the off hours. But if we go back to the daily chart here, it'll look like this here. So there's no point in chasing this because as I said this before as well, but you know, this will be a 5-wave structure here, and it's still got further to go, maybe to the 350 area, and we have to wait for it to pull back. Okay, so that will be the trade setup. So once again, we've got that ABC pattern here, as I mentioned with BHP. So some markets will pull back in 5 waves, some will pull back in 3 waves. So the ones that pull back in 5 waves, they'll be the more bearish ones that need to make a new low and finish off, you know, like the S&P, well, more like the NASDAQ actually. So that's that. Enphase here, we talked about this in two ways yesterday. We talked about it having wave 5 in, and we also talked about it having this as wave 1 and going back for wave 2 and then coming down further. Both were valid. I couldn't really tell which is which at that point, but now we can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So we've got some sort of, it appears to be some sort of A wave. So we'll see a B wave and a C wave to the upside here at some point. So it'll be something like this, and then we'll need to see another move down at that point. Let me just get an idea of where that 38.2% is here. Oh, it's actually higher. It's quite high, isn't it? I don't think it's going to go that high. It will go above the thing is the 250 is going to hold it, you know, but how far will it hold it? 256 is always a nice number to look at, so probably 256 in there, but yeah, can go a bit higher at that point. So see, 265, yeah, there's a whole lot of numbers there that can hold it there, but I don't think, what number's this here? 256 roughly, yeah, so I thought, so probably into that 256 area, I reckon. But anyway, we'll just have to count the 5 waves up here, like we can count them here, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and maybe if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and finish it the same again. I could put that here, or that could just be wave 1 and back for wave 2 and then 3, 4, 5. Do you know what I mean? So it's a bit either Arthur Martha kind of thing. So, but anyway, it does appear that we've got 5 here, so that means we'll get a correction and then another 5, but that could take us up here further in that way. I'm not quite sure, so I'll just leave it a little bit loose there for the moment, but that's where we are with Enphase and Tesla. So with Tesla, we'll need to move it a bit higher as well. So the basic count here is the 38.2, which will also come in at 140 area here. Still looking for more downside here with this. Is it possible to call a low in here? Yeah, it's possible. But once again, I'd need to see a nice 5-wave structure up here, and then we'd get the pullback on that. So even though I'm showing you this, I mean, it's good to look at the bullish and the bearish count, because then we can pick holes in it all. You know, that's the idea of it. It's not to get too attached and so forth with the things. It's just sharing ideas and you know, and giving some credibility to some of them, and eliminating others. So if a low was going to be in place, then this would be one way to look at it. But I would need to see more evidence, you know, off the low here for that, you know. You know, as I mentioned before, you can always buy it at 100 and ride the bounce. You know, once you know your numbers, then, you know, buying it at numbers, you know, there's 90% of the time you'll get a bounce. Sometimes the markets are really bearish. They will, you know, sink into it and go down into 98 or 95, you know, below below the main number. But when they, you know, in a lot of cases, most cases, I'll just have that clean bounce at that point, because there's, you know, there's big orders there. People put orders at large numbers. I mean, that could be a favourable thing, like buying it at the 100, you know. But anyway, that's a reasonable, plausible count to the downside. Anyway, we can investigate that sort of further, but yeah, like I said, we'd need to see some sort of market around the globe that really has, you know, has a bullish side to it, and we're not seeing that just yet. I mean, sure, there's odd markets, you know, in certain sectors and industries and so on, but nothing at this particular point. I'm just going to go to 1K here. So I've just rearranged this a little bit. yesterday we had this here as the A wave, and then the B wave here, and then the C wave up here, and looking down for this to come down here, and then back and then down further, but we've pushed higher, so we need to extend it up into the 140, the 38.2 area. And if that's going to be the case, we can look at it, I can still look at it as an A wave here, B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and have that here. That's why we need to be short under here. But from that low to that high here, this is the 50-60% just here, so it shouldn't come down this far. So that's why you can look to try to find some sort of setup here. But everything's said and done, we know the markets want to push a bit higher, so we'll be like this here, something of this nature. So we'll have to look for the short trade over here. So in a bit of a nutshell, you could also look for the long trade here as well. Something what we could do here between 20 and 30 here. Obviously we got the levels at that point, so the halfway mark 25 is the most important, down here somewhere. Near enough is good enough at this stage. And then from 20 we've got group 1, which is 1, 2 and 3. So if I not close enough, if I was going to go long here, I would want to get a classic trading levels pattern on 3, on 1, 2, 3, and then I would look to add to the position with another classic trading levels pattern at the 125. So they're the numbers to build in to the long side. Okay, I'll leave those there for the moment. So yeah, that can still push higher, but we need to be prepared for a move lower as well. Google, I've also rearranged this. So from the top here, we've got wave 1 and 2, and then wave 3, 4 and 5 down here. And then that means we need to look at this as the A, the B, and then look for 5 waves to the upside here. It can pull back up into this box. So yeah, currently we've got wave 1 here, 1 and 2, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 and 2, and the third wave here. I might need to put that third wave in over here for that, but it doesn't really make a good fourth wave here, does it? 1, 2, oh, I've got that one, so that's right, yeah. So we've got the top of the third wave here that's sort of there. We'll still need this fourth and fifth here to go up, so probably 92 to 93 in here. I don't think it will extend up here because of the size of of these structures that I'm looking at here at the moment. But also the other interesting thing here, let's just say that I'm totally wrong here, but we do get 5 waves up here and we do come back for an ABC pattern here. Well, then we'll have a classic trading levels pattern at the 90. So we'll have the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC correction, and we can look to go long here for the longer term, you know, and that would be pretty good in the scheme of things. But we'll see how it all plays out. I've still got to stay on the bearish side a little bit. Microsoft here, the A wave, the B wave 1 and 2. There might be, can't really look at that. I could put that over here and have that as an expanded flat here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So either here or here for that. I'll have to take a closer look, but definitely the third wave, obviously. But having it here, here, or here will end up giving us another wave up here, but that will take us up to 236.50 area here. So still got further to go up. It's struggling to move up now at this stage, but that's where that is. So we'll see how that tops and turns. I don't have a 5 wave move up here so far. I still have this nice 5 wave move down here, you know, so I have to look at this as a counter trend. It's rather big as a counter trend, I have to say, you know, but it's just towing along with the rest of the market, so I'll just accept it for the time being. And Berkshire Hathaway, we're still looking for another high to come in here to finish this 5th wave off here, so that's not there yet. And then we'll be looking, you know, then if we're going to be bullish, which I think is the case, then we'll be looking at that ABC pattern here that is quite familiar across many markets at this stage. It's possible, so that would be wave 1 here too. I can't rule out the fact that this can be not the fact, but the possibility that this can be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here. So counting this down as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, and then looking at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up here for the bigger B wave, and coming further down here, that's possible too. Yeah, I mean, I've got it as the A, the B, and the C here. It just doesn't count very nicely as a C wave. This is the weak link in here. It counts better as a corrective wave. But at the same time, the corrective wave has taken the low out here, which is fine for a corrective B wave to do that. But it does give a little bit more weight to a C wave at that point, even though it doesn't count very nicely as 5 waves. So, yep, that's that. And with block here, as I've mentioned over the last few sessions, we just need this to top out here. It could take a top out here quite easily. It could take a top, but take that top out. But whatever it is, we still need it to take that top out. We can see the stochastics sort of peaking at this point, which they normally will. That's what indicators do, or stochastics anyway. I mean, as it's approaching here, the stochastics, and this is really a picture of the stochastics in a way. If it comes back up to the old highs, then if it goes above this old high here, then it's just going to flatline as this continues to move up. So then you'll need to go to the bigger degree on that. So, yeah, I mean, if it takes out that top there, then we can use that to be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here, an A, B, C, and corrective move. It's just not, I can get 5 waves out of this move here. I can do that as 1 and 2 in here, and then sort of 3, 4, 5. We're kind of forcing it a little bit. Plays out quite nicely as a corrective move. So I don't have a solid evidence for, I've got a low in place here, but I don't have the evidence for that just yet. This could also just move up and then have another move down here. We'll have to look at all of this as wave 1 here and back for wave 2, but it's rather big for wave 2. So there's different ways to look at it, but all of them, nothing is really sort of giving a lot of weight to a particular direction just yet with this. And Bank of America here. So with this market here, we've got, it's a bit of a tricky one. We can count 5 waves down here. So I've just been looking for this here as an A and a B and a C. So I'm looking for this to be the top. If we do get a push higher here, which is possible, then we're kind of getting like a 5-wave structure here, So even if I got the 5-wave structure here, I'd still have to wait for the pullback at this point. And if that was going to be the case, then I've got 2 ways to look at it bullish. I've got this 5 waves down as a C wave over here, but it hasn't made a new low below the A wave, so that's a bit of a no-no. Possible, I've seen it before. We're seeing that on iron ore, but that's the futures market, and depending on what futures market that you look at, there's different stories on that between China and Singapore, but that's something else. So the other point is that we could put wave C over here, like many other markets, and look at this as wave 1 up here, and then somehow look at this as an ABC for wave 2. But I'm not really getting the ABC pattern in here for this. So it's a bit of a problem. So I just have to wait for it to unfold a little bit further with all of this as well. And like I said, if we do get 5 waves up, well then we still have to wait for it to pull back as well. We can't just buy the new high in this case, because it will only fold back on us, Okay, well that's it. I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. So there's not much to do at this point. The market's still going to rally. They probably have chuck a bit of a wobbly on the CPI figures coming into the next US session. Let's see what the market looks like after the dust settles a little bit. Alrighty. Okay, cool. Cheers.